Indians should be proud about the fact that we belong to a country where there are diverse backgrounds, castes, creed, color, and religion. The acceptance and inclusion which the country is having is amazing. With every 200 kilometers, we change the lifestyle, the culture, the food, and the geographic boundaries, and the states have this amazing capacity to accept the kind of culture and the language and the food our country has. India has rhythmic chanting, the holy offerings, the generational cultural legacy which our country has is an amazing, witness, and we as Indians should be proud about the fact that we have such an inclusive nature to accept the diverse backgrounds of our country. We are more inclusive, appreciative, and acknowledging of the fact of this diverse background in our country than the West. If we compare to other countries who are mostly either one or two religion, and they are a mix of just one or two, countries, the country has a mix of just two religions, we as a country are doing an amazing job. I, as an educator, a school leader, Dr. Brahmjot Kaur, is here to talk about the evolutionary changes the education has seen in our country and globally. We as a country have given a lot of great educators and amazing generations because the brains which we have given are traveling across borders and ruling different sectors, ruling different countries, and we should be proud of the education we have been giving since years. I, as an educator, have seen a very transformative journey since the education with which we were brought up and the education the children of today are getting. Now, as I talked about the diversification of our country, I personally see a lot of acceptance, not only within the country, but it's just that the cross-community friendships are not very much entertained by the political arena, or maybe the role of media is not very great in our country as far as the cross-community culture is concerned. So when the politicians and the media has this role of not enhancing the cross-community culture, the role of educators comes into the picture, as we are the only entity in the society to bifurcate between what is right and what is wrong. Otherwise, the kids, the teenagers, the youngsters, there are very less sectors which can define or solve the curiosity of the students as to what is right and what is wrong, because there is a lot of gray in the society these days. So, as we talk about the diverse backgrounds, we have this amazing concept of art integration which we have instilled in our campuses, because this enhances the students of crossing the states and learning about each state, the culture, the background, the lifestyle, and the food. So the child comes to know about a lot of different cultures, and the acceptance and the religion and the respect for those cultures develops in the child. So this is an amazing concept which education sees as in today's environment. Also talking about one very important concept, when we all were growing up, we were not very much taught about the life skills. What exactly are life skills, and what was that was lacking in our educational journey while we were growing up? I personally feel that if I was taught one lesser chapter of physics, or maybe one lesser chapter of history, and I was taught more about maybe sympathy, empathy, financial management, coping with stress, and cooking, then I would have been a happier person. Why are these life skills important, and what is the importance of these life skills? Self-reflection, self-awareness, decision-making, these are some of the important components of a human being. As we are growing in our lives, we are taking a lot of decisions, not only on everyday basis, but other decisions like for students selecting a college, choosing a partner for themselves, or maybe deciding what to wear for a particular occasion can be decision making. But in our country, mostly the parents, they do not allow students or kids to take decisions on their own, which is why I personally feel that we as school leaders, educators, teachers, trainers, or parents should be giving more of decision-making capacity to the children, because that is more required not only to the students but also as adults. I feel a lot of adults in our society are going to other people for their decision-making capacities. So I personally feel that, talking about life skills, this is one of the very important components which should be given to the child during their growing years. Because, dear all, as we know that the students give around 18 to 20 years of their lives to us, that is the educators. So we in our hands have the most important, most youthful and most creative years of a human being in our hands. And what are we doing with it? Are we spoiling it or are we making it? Now, this 18 to 20 years of span is a very important period of our, generation. How do we give them wings? How do we bring them out of the box? How do we make them feel and think out of the box? What is beyond wings? Making the best out of these 18 to 20 years, which the child is giving to an educator. And how can we bring out the best creativity, innovation, critical thinking in the child? By looking at the basics of a human being. What are the basics of a human being? We all are emotional beings. We all feel a lot of emotions. We have bottled up a lot of emotions inside us. Why? Because in today's society, we are ready to go for a therapy, but we will not talk to our friends, family, parents, colleagues, whatsoever. That leads to a lot of bottling up inside emotions, and that doesn't come out easily, which leads for all of us to go for therapy. So we as adults also need to understand that empathy, sympathy, and human emotions are a part and parcel of a human being. And we need to take care of the fact that these emotions, as a child also, we need to make them understand that they can take it out, they can talk to their friends, family, relatives, school authorities, whomsoever they please, and that will help in a lesser therapy, lesser stress, lesser anxiety, lesser depression, and less of everything else, because human emotions are a very much part and parcel, and we all feel a lot of emotions in a day. So that is a wonderful way of bringing up children, because unless and until a human being or a child is at peace with his or her emotions, they cannot perform professionally or in a classroom whatsoever. So the life skills which I was talking about, that is self-reflection, self-awareness, not only make you a better human being, but make you perform better in life itself. Cooking and the different life skills which we have been talking about are need to be instilled in the human being. And that is best if you do it during the growing years. Let the child decide what to wear. Let the child decide what career option to choose. Which brings me to another very important aspect of a child development, and that is career counseling, career option, choosing a career for themselves, and making the best out of their lives. Now that has two aspects. Talking about the career options, we have the passion of the child, what the child really wants to do, and the skill set of the child. Now, skill-based education is another very important part of an educational journey. These days, this was not there while we were growing up. We have an option now in our educational journey to give students from 6th standard itself to choose from their passions, their skill sets, like beauty, wellness, health, entrepreneurship, sales, marketing. These are the subjects now from 6th standard onwards. And you can choose a skill of your choice, a passion of your choice, combine the both and make the best career for yourself. Now, in this we have globally or maybe within our country, a lot of mindset shuttles. What are mindset issues? The parents not letting the child take a career option of their choice, the child not having enough financial developments to take a career option of their choice, the child not being aware about the skill set the child is pursuing, or maybe the passion the child has. Now here again the role of educators comes into existence. We need to understand the child's skill set, the child's passion, and combine both of it to make the best career for the child. This is the evolution the education has come up with, and we all really acknowledge it. And I personally believe this is going to bring a great change, not only within the lives of the children, but also in the economic growth of the country, because 70% of the youth of this country itself is majorly unemployed or not really happy with the kind of job, with the kind of work they are pursuing. So if we have to bring out the best in the professional and the emotional components of the child, we need to focus really on the life skill set and the career counseling of the child. So these two together can bring out the best in our kids. Also, coming to the next concept, there's a very interesting thing which happened lately. There were young boys and girls. As we all know that, romance is a very important part of everyday lives of human beings. So there was this young boy of class 12 who was standing in front of me in my office and asking me that I have a love interest. Is it wrong, madam? And organically and naturally, I could not say that, it is absolutely wrong. Now, this brings me to a very important question of our country that, are we giving the right kind of answers to the students? Are we giving them the right kind of acknowledgement they need? Are we answering the curious questions they feel personally in their lives? What are the questions and what are the curiosities I'm talking over here right now? Something which we don't really talk about in our everyday lives. And that is a very common question from teens, kids, youngsters, children even in the higher education, the students sitting over here of the college. Sex education. I personally am a female who was not brought up with a lot of sex education. So I was also a part of that societal stereotype, the stigma which revolves around this word. And we could not talk about it openly. But now, today as I stand here, I personally feel that if I do not talk about this, I'm not going to do justice to the generations to come and give wings to the students, because as the children grow, they have a lot of curiosities, a lot of attractions, a lot of questions about their own bodies and about other things. So we as educators need to understand that if other societies in the world can cater to sex education, why we as a country cannot provide education about prevention of pregnancies, STDs, health, hygiene, fertilizational process, and menstruation in general. So once we give this kind of education to the students, it will be more easier for the child to understand the organic process, the natural state of their sexuality, and to grow in a more positive manner. So this is one important component which I feel should also be brought about in the country. Now coming to another very, very essential component of our development is, are we doing the right kind of education, or were we doing it since years? Now, during the British era, while the Britishers were ruling over us for around 200 years, what was the kind of education we all were getting? We all were getting factory schooling. What exactly is factory schooling? Everybody sitting in front of you, you are teaching, they are absorbing and just going home, presenting whatever you spoke on a piece of paper with just some questions you have asked. Rote learning, another very important concept, that why are we doing rote learning? Why are we factory schooling our children? So Britishers used to do it because they needed a generation who could run factories for them, who could do work which was robot-like. So they used to generate machines. They made Indians like that so that we could, just go with the flow, go with whatever they wanted us to do. And that is come to an end with the change in the educational policies and the curriculum framework which has come up in the country. Now, as school leaders, we have this challenge of changing the whole education system and bringing this whole change in all the schools across the country will take a lot of effort because there are a lot of stakeholders involved. Now, these stakeholders are parents, teachers, students, the society in general. How do we create awareness to the parents that the educators are doing a right job? What is our job? To create students who can run the country later on, maybe 20 years, 30 years from now. Now, how do we do it? Parents are losing their confidence in educators. Gurukul system, Indus Valley civilization, our culture, our country teaches that the students and the parents both should have faith in the educator that whatever they are doing is for the best of my child and is going to bring out the best in the students. So this is where the experience-based learning comes into action, and that is activity-based learning, play-based learning. These are the few concepts which we really need to focus on, and this summarizes my whole concept and evolution of education in our country. That's how we bring it and that's how we do it. Some of the aspects. Thank you so much.